You're watching the 5 Minute Bark Podcast on YouTube. If you like this episode, you just may like many more. Subscribe today by clicking the red subscribe button in the top right-hand corner. Hey out there, everybody. How you doing here today? Today, we are going to do something fun, something in my playground. We've got Ben Nowacky here from 3 Screens Studio. This guy is amazing. And 4 years, he's created a complete company doing websites from everything, A to Z. I've been in the industry myself for a very long time. I know how difficult it is to start a company in this arena. So you're going to be talking to an entrepreneur that had to go through a lot of challenges here today. I know the challenges. He knows the challenges. We're going to be sharing that here today. So Ben, say hello to everybody out there.
Hello, everybody out there.
All right. So Ben, tell us a little bit about how, first off, you went and decided to get into a business of websites in what year is that? 2012?
Yeah, 2012.
I mean, that's an industry that's pretty tough to get into. What made you decide to do that?
So I was, I've been working in the industry for 15 plus years. I was running teams at a former company, Competitor Magazine, who put on all the rock and roll marathons, and, we're an active lifestyle company. Left that company for a different job and, lost the comfort of a stable position for a long time and had some falling out with the CEO at the time. We had a differing of opinions on where the company should go and what we should do. And we parted ways. And I looked at it and said, I could go out and work for another Mensa member of society that really thinks he knows what he's doing, or I can go out and practice what I preach and do it myself. So
that's, I just had 2 guests ago. I had a gentleman, Joshua Stanton, who has a company called Screw the 9 to 5. And the story I heard from him is so many people, exactly your situation, that they didn't have that reliability in their job. They kind of like their job sometimes, but they hated it sometimes too. And the reliability is there, but it's not there. You can get laid off at any time. I have another friend who works for Intel. They just laid off 12,000 people. So everybody out here, we got a witness here today, another person jumping ship from corporate to entrepreneur. And I love hearing that here today. And so you got the background, you kind of knew what you were doing, and you said, I'm going to jump ship. I'm going to go and do this on my own. What was it like trying to get that first client? Or did you already have some in the bag?
So I had one kind of part-time client. When I left the position, I started reaching out to connections I had, people I knew in the industry, and said, hey, I'm taking the leap. What do you got for me? And, luckily I was able to get one small client that kind of kept the bills being paid and kept a roof over my head and the lights on, which was awesome. And, just started, working my fanny off. Did that for about 6 months. And then through a friend and a connection, got in with another company, a fairly big company here in San Diego that does drug testing, urine drug testing, and did a project for them. And one thing kind of spiraled to the next. And, once you get that first big client in the door, then things just kind of snowball and go from there. But it's a matter of proving yourself to start with. So, yeah.
All right. So a big question I would have, Ben, is how do you differentiate yourself from all the other website companies? I mean, there's 100. Obviously, there's the solo web designers that can go and underbid you by a ton, like by 75%, even though they're never going to get the website done in most cases. And then you've got the the top dogs out there that are huge agencies that can just kind of scare you away too. So you're kind of in the middle, I'm saying, and growing fast. But what differentiates you from everybody else?
Yeah, sure. That's a great question. So the little guys, the one guys working in their, in their house, in their home office, those are tough guys to compete with because they're hungry just like I was and they want that job. So they're going to come in with a nice low price point. The advantage that we have over those guys is we have a team. So when I go to a client and they're saying, well, we have this guy and he's doing this website for us, I say, well, okay, well, is he going to be available at 3 a.m. when you have a problem? What happens when he wants to take a vacation, or what happens when he's sick? We have a team of people. They're all local. We don't outsource any of our work. Everything's, homegrown, made in the USA. So we have all of our guys here onshore locally that, when a client works with us, you have a whole team working and dedicated to you. And since we're a small company still, you still kind of get that, that hand holding and that nice, small company vibe. Yeah. On the flip side, with the big guys, you're just another cog in the machine with those guys. You're another project that kind of goes through a life cycle, and you're handed off from a salesperson to a client manager to a project manager to a lead developer, and you never really get that relationship. And what really differentiates us from the big guys, the big agencies, is like I always say to our partners, is we don't have clients, we have partners. And what we really strive to do is develop a long-term partnership with our clients. So we don't just go in and we implement a project. Our first step with everything is to really understand the business. Mm-hmm. So when we engage with a client, some of the first, couple weeks are just understanding the business, learning what they do and how they do it, what makes them the market leader for themselves, and then what problems are they trying to solve. And we really understand the problem, not just something that they're telling us and what they're saying that they have as a problem, but really diving in and understanding what they're trying to accomplish. And 9 times out of 10, when we talk to somebody like that and we start really diving in, the problem that they came to us with is not really the problem that they're trying to solve. So when companies come in and they implement these software solutions and they don't really dive in and understand a company, they implement something, and 90% of the time that project fails because they didn't really solve the underlying problem. So we really get in, we understand our clients, we develop long-term partnerships with our clients, and we really want to be there. We're a business partner with these people, and we are tied to their success just as much as, anything else. So we really want to get in and we want to make the most successful product for somebody.
Awesome. You hit a lot of points there that, of course, like I said, I've been in the business. And that's really what I was trying to do too, is you have to understand their business. Essentially, you're technically going to start running their business from that point on, in a sense. And you have to help them think things through. I know, like when I built my own websites for my companies, we ended up realizing a ton of different markets because of SEO and because of the resources we had to say, okay, we have a company here. We have, for example, it was an extreme sports company, and we had these, very expensive half pipes that we would travel around the world and do shows with. But we also realized that skateboarders could use these, Hollywood could use these. So I started actually using our website to market them as a rental unit. And that ended up being 25% of our income just by, renting it out. So you can also do through companies like Ben's here today. They take the time, they go and they realize not only the fluency and the smoothness and the efficiency and the user-friendly stuff, but they also kind of realize, hey, there's other potentials out there we can put on the market for you when you have a company like that. Now, I'm going to stand behind you because you recommended me here today. And, like I said, I've been in this business, and it's important for people to understand if you're going out there and trying to get the $1,500 website or the $500 template website, you really are wasting money, because when you get somebody that's going to actually sit there and actually talk to you about your business, okay? Because you can take a template for $15 off of whatever, monster.com or whatever, and you can make it look all pretty, and you can and they throw a few things and then fill in the boxes, and oh my God, I got this amazing website. But all it is essentially a needle in a haystack. Especially nowadays, more than ever before, with video streaming available to everybody, and podcasting and all these other tools, opt-in tools, and so on and so forth. It's very important to understand the structure, kind of like Brent's talking here today, the structure of your website and what it's supposed to do. There's a process to that. And when you have a website company that's going to talk you through that process, you may find it might be more expensive, but you might find out that your profits are going to go up 300%. So I'm vouching for what you're saying here, because I went through that with clients, and it was difficult to talk to them about that. Again, I don't do websites anymore. I have a few clients that I kind of maintain, but I'm not in the business of it. But I understand that what you're doing is so important, and most people just sell them on a pretty website, and then it goes up there, and then nothing happens.
And then it fails.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've had friends that I've tried to convince 3 to 4 times that, hey, let me do your website. I know what I'm doing. And they end up going to a template for $1,000, and then another year and a half later, they get another template for $1,500, and they get another one for $500, and then it never happens. Nothing goes anywhere. And then I have clients that I've done stuff for, and they're like, Dennis, I literally had one client say, take my website down. I swear to God, I'm tired of the calls. I'm tired of everything coming in. Take it down. But it's because, people like Ben here are asking the right questions and putting your website in the right place. So tell us a success story about one of your clients then.
Yeah. So the clients that I love to work with are the clients that kind of give you carte blanche and kind of say, we have this idea. We don't know what we're doing. Go and implement. So, we had a client come to us recently in the last year and say, hey, we've got this this set of requirements. It's this medical company. They have to, they collect orders and specimens and tests, and they said, hey, we have these requirements of, capturing a signature and doing printing on site and things like that. And they're like, we don't really know how we're going to do it. We've got these very specific scenarios. Go and come up with a solution for us. So those are the clients I love. So we went back and we spent about a month kind of in what I call skunk works. And, we prototyped some solutions out. We actually created some hardware for them and, prototyped it out and came up with, 3 or 4 scenarios and presented it to them. And, we wound up going with a mobile app that kind of accomplished everything that the client was looking for. And, that was really exciting. So, that was a great story. They've deployed it. We've helped save that company. I think we've, they were having a problem billing back, insurance companies for these specimens and these orders. And, we've helped increase, we cut the missed insurances down by like 30%. So they're actually billing 30% more, collecting 30% more revenue, which was, huge. Another great one was I just actually had a phone call today with another client that came to us and said, look, we're getting some venture funding. We have a big partner in our industry and they're throwing some money at us and they want us to hit the accelerator on our software development. And we've got a platform, we've been running with it for a couple of years, but it's kind of been bubblegum and duct taped together, and we really don't know if it's going to scale, and we need someone to come in and kind of look at it and help us re-architect it. And, I got off the call and I was talking to some of my business partners and guys that I work with, and I was excited. Like, these are the exciting projects that we get to work on when a client comes to us and says, hey, we want your expertise. We want to know what you know. We want you to help us be better. So, we're going to be engaging with this client to go in, look at their platform, look at their industry, and look at their product, and not only make recommendations on their architecture and infrastructure, but we're going to be able to go in and help find business opportunities for them and say, well, if you did this or you added this module on, we have a new business line, and we can, you have a whole new business line here. So those are the things that really get me excited and really, make me, work those extra hours and get up in the morning.
Yeah. Speaking of that, what is a good piece of advice you can give to somebody? So obviously you talk to a lot of different clients. What are some good questions you can have them ask themselves before they start creating a website or creating a brand?
First question I always ask, and this is the most important one, is what are you trying to accomplish? And you'd be amazed that when you go and talk to a company and they think they know what they're trying to accomplish,
they don't.
You ask them that question, they don't, exactly. And you say, what are you trying to accomplish with this project? Be it a website, be it a software project, be it a mobile app, whatever it is. What is your goal? What are you trying to accomplish? And then just sit back and listen. And, it's just like in sales, you ask a question, then you sit back and shut up. And we do the same thing. We ask that question, we sit back and we just start taking notes. And the client starts going through all of the stuff and telling them, they start out always with telling you why they called you there originally, but then they dive in a little bit more, and when you don't say anything, they start talking more and more and more. And that's probably the most important question that we ask, because we really understand a business at that point, and we start diving in and we start hearing things that maybe the client may not have even have recognized. And then we go back to them and we say, well, I heard you say this. How important is this? Oh, that's hugely important. Okay, well, maybe we should focus on that first. So I would say probably the most important question you can ask a client or somebody thinking about doing a new website or a mobile app or any software project is, what are you trying to accomplish? What is the problem that you're having? And then really dive into that and explore, where that takes you.
So there's several ways that websites can help us, right? There's streamlining, there's brand, creating a presence, there's a utility for getting out education, right? There's also the utility of maybe a service you're providing. So that's an online login type situation with a membership or a utility kind of thing. So there's a number of different ways that websites can work for us. And now I don't know if you're always having this issue too, but I'm always thinking from desktop first and then mobile. And we have to really kind of get from mobile first to desktop. I've read that over the years. Obviously, the difference between people using desktop and mobile is massive. What is the numbers nowadays for people using mobile versus desktop?
So we're seeing it actually really start, even more in the last year. I would say, the mobile revolution is definitely upon us. And, with the proliferation of iPads and, phones and faster internet and LTE connections, people are doing a lot more from their mobile devices. So if you don't have at least a mobile
version
of your site, and you're not thinking mobile as well as your desktop, you're missing the boat, and you're missing a lot of customers. And that's kind of what, the background of 3Screens. So the name 3Screens kind of came from a conversation when I was with Competitor Magazine. We were up and talking to Nike about a project, and they had said to us, we really want to think about our 3-screen experience. And that was the first time I heard it. And I asked the question, I said, well, what do you mean by a 3-screen experience? They said, well, we need to be able to interact with our customers everywhere. And, people are going on mobile phones, they're going on desktop, they're going on big computers, they're going on tablets. And so we think about 3 screens, we think about mobile, tablet, and desktop. And that kind of really stuck with me. And, I like that. Yeah. And so our pitch is, when we go and talk to a client, or when I'm, cold calling or talking to a client for the first time, our elevator pitch is helping deliver a consistent brand experience across any platform you interact with your consumer, be it mobile, tablet, or desktop. And so what we do is we want to make sure that when your customer wants to interact with you, wherever they are, they can do it easily and they can do it consistently. So when they pull up your website on a phone or on a desktop, they know it's you. They know it's your website. They know it's your brand. And we want to deliver that consistent brand experience everywhere.
Another thing too is people need to understand too is the least amount of clicks. There's for example, I just helped a client with they're launching a movie, and their past website was designed. It had like 4 clicks to buy the movie. It has to be a 1-click experience. So thinking those types of things through too. I mean, you really have to consider that, everybody out there, when you're trying to do anything over and beyond a website. It has to be the simplest, logicalest, with the most education at the same time process. So,
yeah, I mean, look at Amazon. They didn't just put the 1-click checkout for no reason, thinking that, hey, let's just try this out. There was a lot of market research that went into that. And, what's their conversion, and how many more products and how many more checkout orders do they get by having that one button there?
Yep. It's awesome. Going back to you, you're growing your company now and you're managing all these people. How is that for you? I mean, how are you enjoying all this success and dealing with a lot of different people?
It's kind of a double-edged sword. On the one side, I love it. I get jazzed every day. I work with an amazing group of people, and I always say I don't have people that work for me. I have people that work with me. It's something that I really do enjoy. I love working with people. I love watching them grow and, grow personally and professionally with the team. And we've got a really great team. I'm really proud of them, and I'm really proud of the stuff that we've accomplished. But at the same time, it's a lot of stress. When you go to bed at night, you got 20 people and their families relying on you for paychecks. So it's stressful figuring out, making sure that your company is stable, and it's, there for the long term, and you're putting food on everybody's table. So it's a lot of weight to be carrying at the same time. Yeah,
I know. I remember when I had a team of people working for me on my extreme sports company. I had 8 people in a room, and I'm like, okay, each one of you are getting how much an hour right now? And we're just sitting here and we're talking about what? Okay, it's like the reality. If you have 20 people and you take them to lunch, it's not only just the lunch that costs, but the hours and all, you have to kind of go, wow, So, I mean, it's hard to look at it that way, but sometimes you do. And like, wow, I have to keep things really in line here. And it's a lot of pressure on you. You're right. But you're doing it. You got 20 people, you said, now on staff. And
yep, 20 people.
And how many clients do you maintain at a time now?
It kind of goes up and down, but, we can, depending on the size of the project, can be anywhere between 5 and 15.
Wow. That's exciting. Awesome. So if I understand, you're having a grand opening of some sort. Is that something?
Yeah. So Yep. So we opened our new office in downtown Escondido this year. We found an awesome location, and right on downtown, right on the main strip in Escondido. It was built. The building was built in 1890. It's been with the original owners since then. The same family has owned the building. It was an old mercantile. It's gone through a couple iterations, but we've had this awesome historic space. And what we're really trying to do is show that you don't have to be downtown to have a tech-based company. There's opportunities in North County. You don't have to be in downtown San Diego, one of the big buildings down there, to have a really cool, space. So found a great spot, remodeled it, decorated. We've got a great location, and now we want to invite people up to check it out. And so we're having our grand opening May 19th. Which is next Thursday. We've got some great partners with the Economic Development Councils in the 5 cities up in North County along the 78 corridor, Oceanside, Vista, San Marcos, Escondido, Carlsbad, and we've invited all of them. Some of the mayors in the 5 cities will be there, and we just want to show our clients our space, introduce them to us, and show them kind of what we're about.
That's awesome. Well, I'm excited for you, Ben. This is really exciting to talk to somebody else in the web space. Like I said, I've shared that passion too. I'm not doing it as a living anymore, but I'm around it. I do my own stuff now. And I love dealing with it and doing it. And my problem was the copy part was the most difficult part for me. I can't spell and do grammar for the sake of my life. But I get stuff, and this is why I don't really do it anymore, is because I can make it very beautiful, but you have to fit the text in the boxes, and you have to fit it in, and I have to go modify it, and then I screw it all up, and the grammar gets all wrong, and it's embarrassing, and that's really one of the problems I ran into is copy is really important. And how do you handle all that? I mean, do you have a copywriter on staff? Actually, you must have one that handles all the copy, because that's really so important, making it fit in the right space, the right words, the right amount of words. Yep. When it has to fit, artistically in there and make an impact at the same time.
Yeah, and you also have to be thinking about your optimization for search engines. So as you're creating these sites and you're dropping in all this awesome content, you got to make sure that, well, if I'm targeting these keywords, I got to make sure that those keywords are on the page, they're in the right density, they're in the headlines, and I'm saying things in the right way that lead people out of that. So it's kind of a dark art of what we do is, in addition to making things look pretty and functioning and the normal part that has to happen, the copywriting is kind of the artistic part almost. And, it's just as artistic and just as creative as actually doing the look and feel and the pretty part of a website.
I'm finding it's almost the most important part right now. This day and age, it's very important because people have to be triggered in 3 to 5 seconds to do something. If you're trying to sell something, you have to get their attention. We're doing it with the video now a lot, but yeah, it's definitely, it's something I'm struggling with personally right now, trying to create the right headlines for Facebook ads and so on and so forth. It's completely challenging for me. And I've been around a lot of it, and it's, I know that's one thing I've learned is when you're in business, it's hard to work for your own business, meaning doing your own marketing. You have to have outside help. Even Apple does that. I know my own logo, I can create a logo, but I don't do my own logo. I have an agency that does my logo, and vice versa. So we're all trying to do it ourselves, and that's really hard to do nowadays, You have to you are your own worst critic when it comes to your own brand and your own messaging, and it's probably the hardest thing to do is your own stuff. Yep. Well, how can people find you, and how can they find out more about your event? Is there a website they can go to, your Facebook page? Let's share some great information about you here.
Yeah, great. So they can check out our website, the number 3-screens.com. That's our main website. You can find us on there. You can chat with us there. We're on LinkedIn. That's probably the next best way to reach out to us. You can look up 3 Screens Studio, the word 3, not the number. We have Facebook and Twitter and all that. Not super active on there, but LinkedIn and our website are probably the best. And, anyone wants to, drop us a note, come up and challenge us to a game of ping pong, they're more than welcome to. We got some great players. So.
All right. Awesome. Ben Nowacky here today, everybody, on the 5-Minute Bark. Another entrepreneur taking the next step and jumping out and doing his own thing. We all know it's a challenging thing, and he's done it. He's very, very successful. Over 20 people on his own web agency, and here in San Diego, that's not an easy task to do. There's a lot of competition here. There's a lot of great designers, and it's a very creative city, and he's done it. He's doing it, and I'm sure he's got a lot of room to grow as well. So I'm excited for you. I know that's a big step, and I'm sure people out there that are in the fields can appreciate it as well. So, listeners, I hope you learned something here today about websites and being an entrepreneur with Ben. Ben, thank you for coming on, and it's been amazing.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Dennis. Thanks for having me.
All right. Bye, everybody.